surprising truth about sugar is that it does not just us having the risk of diabetes, rather it also plays a very vital role in our hormone. So in today's video, we are going to talk about how our sugar fluctuation may be affecting our hormonal health and symptoms that some of us may be experiencing without realizing the connection between your sugar and your hormone. So what happens is that when we eat our refined carbs without protein, without fiber, nothing to slow down digestion, our blood sugar tends to rise very quickly. So when it rises very quickly, our body releases an hormone called insulin. So insulin is a key that helps to move our sugar from our blood into our cells, that helps us to utilize it for our energy, to help us to do our day-to-day activities. So the problem starts is that when your body is releasing insulin constantly to maintain those blood sugar spike, because some of us who tend to eat just our plain carbohydrates. So those kind of plain carbohydrate causes a very rapid spike in our blood sugar. So if this happens repeatedly, your body is trying to keep up, like I said, that's when the problem starts and it starts affecting our hormone. And number one hormone is affected, that it affects our cortisol, which is our stress hormone. So when our blood sugar rises and falls very often, our body works very hard to keep it very stable. And one of the ways it does that is by releasing our cortisol, which is our stress hormone. It's doing you good though, but it's doing you bad. Why? Is because your body is releasing cortisol to help you balance your sugar intake that you keep taking consistently. But it's doing you bad because if your cortisol levels is high, it is a very big problem for us. Because if our cortisol level stays very elevated, it affects our reproductive hormones. And it affects our reproductive hormones, making us to experience those irregular period, worsening PMS, unpredictable spotting, changes in our cycle length. And also, if your cortisol levels are very high, elevated cortisol, it also affects us. It also causes a very big barrier in weight loss. Some of us will be like, I'm trying to lose weight, but it's not going. If your cortisol levels are very high, it is a very big barrier for you to lose weight. Another thing it does that, because why? It affects how our body metabolize food, it affects our metabolism, how your body is able to digest food very quickly. Our cortisol levels affect that, making it very hard for you to lose weight. It also increases the risk of sugary and high calorie cravings. It also affects and it encourages fat storage. It makes it very difficult for you to lose abdominal fat. One thing elevated cortisol also does is that it makes it very difficult for you to burn stored fat. Yes, make it very difficult for you to burn stored fat, and it makes it very difficult for you to maintain a very healthy and ideal weight. Number two hormone it affects is that it affects our estrogen and progesterone. You know, we said that if your cortisol is high, it's affecting your reproductive hormones. One of your reproductive hormones are your estrogen and progesterone. So if these two hormones are not balanced, because why? They are responsible for regulating our menstrual cycle, our estrogen and progesterone. But if these two hormones are not balanced, that's when some problems start coming in. We start experiencing weight gain, PMOS, changes in your menstrual cycle, and other hormonal symptoms. And also, high sugar level could also affect the control of our ovulations. And if that keeps happening, if your menstrual cycle becomes very less predictive, it also affects fertility in most cases. The important thing to remember is that our hormones do not work in isolation. They work together as a team. So if one of them is constantly struggling, they tend to go down with the other hormones, affecting us, causing all those hormonal symptoms that we experience. The encouraging news is that small consistent changes can make a very big difference. Yeah, you don't have to be perfect. Every meal is a better plan for you to support your blood sugar levels. So in our next video, we are going to discuss about practical ways for us to reduce our blood sugar, some food and some habits that we are doing that are constantly causing a very rapid spike in our blood sugar. So my wellness girls, remember your body doesn't work against you, rather your body is working aligned with whatever you give to your body. So what you have to do is to trust it, nourish it, and work with it. Bye and see you in our next video.